Hey, Vaper Stirfry here. Today I'm talking about the eXpromizer V3 Fire from Fucig. It's a collaboration with Fucig, another company in Germany. It's a mouth-to-lung RTA. So let's take it downtown and investigate. So this is the eXpromizer, excuse me, V3 Fire. It's version 3. It's been designed in Germany and is being distributed by Fucig Corporation or Fucig.com out of Korea. So it is basically a collaboration. It's the third generation of the mouth-to-lung RTAs, as I said, designed in Germany. In the box, this is the box that comes here. And it's outside, it's, oops. Aha. On the outside, it tells you it's 4 milliliter or 2 milliliter. This one is the black gunmetal. Little box, you get spare parts, which is basically O-ring, screwdriver, a couple spare screws, and then you have the atomizer itself, or the tank, the RTA. Now this is a mouth-to-lung RTA. Now this is the 4 milliliter version. It comes in two versions, a 4 milliliter and a 2 milliliter. The 4 milliliter is 70 millimeters from top to bottom to the tip. Just this section here is 48 millimeters, and up to the top of the knurl is 55 milliliters. Now the 55 millimeters, excuse me. Now the way this is, the top knurl here will adjust your juice flow. And you can see how that operates there. Fill with ports, very simple. Slide up, slide down. It's basically and you have 510 drip tip, very narrow inside, because again this is mouth to lung. Air adjustment is right here, your airflow control ring, and to take it apart it's very easily, and it comes in so many pieces. The base comes off separately. It's your airflow control. Unscrew the deck. There's your build deck. The tank also unscrews. There's your stack, and believe it or not, everything can come completely apart for a full cleaning. You can take the ring off. All this will all can be disassembled. I'm not going to go this good bit far out of my range, but everything gets disassembled. This unscrews, you know, and there's your stack that controls that. So everything is be able to be disassembled and put together and cleaned. The build deck's pretty simple. Put the airflow control ring on here. Okay, there's your build deck. 2 screws, airflow in the center, and the way that these are your adjustment holes for your juice flow. And what you do is you pack the wick, your wicking cotton down in there. So I'm going to do a quick build on this, and then we're going to go from there. Alright, so here we have it, our build deck. Now this is a coil. I did 5 wraps, 6 wraps, however you want to count it. Basically 5 wraps all the way around. And the way this coil is going to get placed is, these are your wicking ports. You want to put the coil like that, but you want to bring the screws in. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to loosen these screws up. Now the coil I rolled for this is a 0.25. Excuse me, is a 2.5 millimeters. I didn't want to go with 30, even though 30 is where I normally roll my coils at. I thought it might be a little big because this is a tight, you got to look at your chamber. It's really tight in there, and you don't want this to be too high. You don't want it grounding out or shorting out in your deck. So, see if we can zoom in on this a little bit. you go. And take our coil. I set it to 2.5. And we're going to place it. Basically going to do this without the tool. We're going to screw down our one side. And you may want to try to wrap it. Now I'd use flat wire. So it is going to be a little pain in the butt here. But I want to try to give it a little bit of play. Try to keep this in camera. It's not the easiest tool. There you go. Try to straighten this up. Make sure our screws are tight. Sorry. So the coil's mounted. Now we're going to straighten it out. Our tool. And center it over the airflow. Okay. Now we're going to dry burn this and check our resistance. So I'm reading a 0.39 resistance. Yep, 0.39. I got this on my Snow Wolf X-Fang. Alright, drop it down to 30 or 24, whatever. And we're going to just dry burn this coil real quick. Pulse it. Got some dry, hot spots in there. You can use stronger coils, or I like to use a little wire brush. There we go. There you go. Now I'm now reading the 0.42. So this is mouth to lung. You're not going to be blowing this at real high wattage. So I'll probably start this low when I finally do use it. Now let's wick this and we'll talk about juicing. Now again, I'm going with a 2.5. I usually don't roll in that small. I usually roll like a 3.0. So I gotta get my cotton just right for this. There we go. Now I'm using my favorite, cotton bacon. Now I usually use new cotton bacon prime. I didn't have it handy at the time, and I want to try to make this nice and snug, but it wants to get some play in there and be able to move it back and forth. There you go. And you're going to definitely have to fluff this. You definitely got to fluff this because you got to fill this area down in here. Alright, let's measure our cotton. Our cotton's only going to go down to about there. Cut it right about there. These are not my usual scissors. I don't know what happened to them. And it's really irritating me. So that's some perfect scissors for this. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to keep this in focus here. I need to find my scissors. These are driving me crazy. I have a little pair of shears I use that are perfect for cutting cotton. Alright. Now we're going to fluff this up. I wouldn't usually do a comb out, which I'll probably still do a comb out. You definitely want to fluff them up. Let's see. A quick comb out. Get all this little excess crap off of here. This is a single coil. There we go. Now, the juice I'm going to be using is, I'm went with old school, something I love. One of the best juices I've ever had. It's called Lemonberry. I'm going with 3 milligrams. Lemonberry is, I mean, I tried to get Lemonberry for the longest time, and it was, oh my god, it's just so fantastic. I'm going to prime this up a little bit. Alright. And now comes the fun part, reassembly. Make sure everything's screwed together tightly. Tank, top, and you can see the juice flow control. Goes the juice flow. Make sure our atomizer is not shorting. There we go. And then we're going to fill. Pull this up, and we're going to fill the top. Now we're going to go, after we pull this up, we're going to go back up top, and I'll tell you what I think. So that's the V3 Fire from Fucig. Well, let's talk pros and cons, and I'll give you my first opinion. Best off, I'll give it pros. This thing has incredible flavor. The flavor in this is great. The juice I'm using it is Lemonberry, and I know what it tastes like. It's one of my favorite juices, and it is fantastic in this. I mean, you don't have to use a lot of wattage. It's a single coil, and it's not that hard to build on it. Let's talk about cons. I wish it came with a slightly tighter drip tip, although you know you can adjust the airflow down. The airflow control ring, once you tighten it down, it's really hard to adjust the airflow control ring. It really is. That's the one thing I hate about it. But once you get some juice around it, it does loosen up somewhat. The second con, the juice flow control. Even when you close it completely off, juice still gets through. Third con, unless you wick it just right, it's easy to coil, easy to build on, but you gotta wick it just right, or your fluid will just keep on flowing straight through. I mean, the thing gives you a lot of spit back, and it's hard to manage spit back on a mouth of lung, but it'll give you spit back because the juice just keeps flowing unless you wick it just right. And the biggest con I have with this thing, look at the size of this. This thing is huge, it's tight, it's tall. You know, if they had changed the top of this, the flow, the fill, maybe that screw-in flow, you could have saved yourself so much space there. That's an easy 10 millimeters, 10 to 20 really. Juice flow control is nice though. You can control the juice flow. It does go all the way down to a real super tight mouth to lung. And you can even direct the lung if you got it wide open. provides good vapor, strong clouds, great flavor. Those are my pros. Flavor's fantastic. It's easy to build on. It comes apart so you can clean it thoroughly. I do like, the other thing is, I do like the way it builds. You can just pop it up, pour it in, and pop it back down. So, overall, it's a good RTA. It is good RTA. It's good, simple, clean. It's a nice design. I just think it's tall as all hell. So it's, if you're into that old school type builds, things like that, it's great. I mean, it's really small. It's not very big. It's not very wide. It fits on almost any atomizer. Excuse me, any mod or tube you put it on. But again, it's tall. Some people like that tallness. So that's just my opinion. Like I said, it's got a great flavor. Easy to build on. Easy to fill. Easy to clean. Breaks down. You can still see your juice level. And you're using lower wattage. Haven't tried this with temperature control coil yet. I'm not really into temperature control. I'm not that big on it. I like to use the wattage, throw a coil on there, wick it, juice it, go. I think I could have used a couple O-rings or another O-ring on the inside, the seal for that juice control. So like I said, even when you close it all the way off, juice still gets in there. Fucig's a new company out of Korea. Look them up, Fucig.com. I have the link in the description of where you can get this at and a couple of other products. So, eXpromizer V3 Fire. Great flavor, great mouth to lung, simple build. It's Stirfry Vaper out. Vape strong, vape on.